I love the real movement because it's digging deep and it's really asking those hard questions. So, yes, that's why it's vital now. I would say that it's the work that we need to do to start. Some people will be uncomfortable, and that's fine because while people are living their lives comfortably, other people are living their lives unsafely.
Thank you for tuning into The Real Storytellers. This space was created to allow you to meet some real ones, those engaging in racial and social justice work, and to allow you to cultivate your own journey. These members are real, their stories are real, and their work is anchored in everything the real movement represents. Welcome to The Real Storytellers. I'm your host, Angel Booz. Today we have a special guest with us, Shan Byrd. Shan, would you please tell us who you are and or what you do?
Thank you so very much, Angel. As you said, I am Shan Byrd. I am an educator with New Brunswick Public Schools. I am a restorative justice practitioner, a healer, and an organizer.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing that with us. I love the fact that you included a healer because I do know some of the restorative justice work that you do. And healing in this time is so imperative. So thank you for sharing that. Can you, Shan, share a story about a time when you knew you wanted to be a professional educator?
Oh my goodness, yes. So my eldest son I homeschooled him. And I homeschooled him for many years because I was very concerned about the influences of the public school system. And there came a time where he had to be with his peers, and I allowed him to go to public school, one that I carefully selected. And I dropped him off every day, spoke to the teacher every single day. And it came a point where the principal came up to me and was like, "Do you want a job? Do you want to be a teacher? Because you're in it, you're here, you're on it. I think this is a natural fit." And so I pondered that for a while, and then I finally decided that yes, that would be a good thing for me to do, to go back and become an educator.
I love that. That kind of speaks to the fact that that was already naturally in you to be so involved in education. So it was just the next natural step.
That's right.
Awesome. Now, Shan, in your work as an educator, can you share a story about the moment you became aware that racial equity is critical to our work?
Yeah. So one day, as I was walking down the hall in my school, I saw a group of Black and brown young boys online being yelled at. And just the sight rubbed me very wrong on the inside. I knew something was wrong with what I was seeing. And so quite a few adults yelling at these young people, and they were frozen. And I made the decision to ask if I could just spend some time with them, spend time with them in a healing circle, just to have a conversation, to really see what's going on, right? Why are you being yelled at? What is happening? And as I began to dig and spend time building relationships with these young guys, I discovered that a lot of it was rooted in the racialized trauma that they were experiencing. And we began to unpack that. And it was then that I realized that my job was far more than just to educate on, the ABCs, right? The curriculum. I had to dig a lot deeper inside of me and as well as my colleagues.
All right. And they say that we have to meet people where they are. Yeah. And the truth is, whether it's the students or the teachers, none of us show up perfect. And there's things that we all have to work on. And so having people in place who are very mindful of that and willing to have those difficult conversations, I think is super important to growth. And, right now we're in a major time of healing being needed and growth, and people really having to own their stuff and do something to, actively try to change or unchange the ways that they believe and the things that they do. So that's awesome, Shan.
Thank you.
Now, can you describe your relationship with the real movement, since that is the reason that we are here today?
Oh, wow. This has definitely been a joy in my life to really get to do the deep down, heavy lifting that needs to be done, ripping off the band-aids and just going straight in for the surgery. My relationship with the real movement has evolved. We started out, I guess it was like last summer, and we just been picking up traction, gaining all types of comrades, doing this work that needs to be done, assuring for racial equity, affirmation, and literacy. And that's what it's all about.
Absolutely. Have you had one or more experiences with the real that has changed you or helped you to grow in some way?
Yeah. I would say for me, what has stretched me a lot is the times where maybe we've done workshops or been in groups where people don't understand the importance of the real movement, can't connect, and may be stuck in different racist ideologies. It stretches me because I have to take myself out of the equation and begin to look at, or at least try to understand, that person's worldview. Why do they think the way they think? Why is it acceptable to deny something that most of us can clearly see is a problem? Racial inequities all around us. And it stretches me because now I have to uh, try to see from their point of view, activate some sense of compassion, and also understand that not everyone is going to change, but at least I could try my best to meet them where they are and influence them if possible.
Absolutely. I can only imagine how difficult that is because I find that to be difficult in situations as well. And
Yeah.
sometimes things just seem so plain and clear, but we have to remember that some of the ideals that people have are generationally ingrained into them. So something that seems so simple and natural for us to get and see, it really isn't for some people as much as we feel that it should be, which is why we know this
Mhm.
work is going to take time and we do have to be compassionate and hopefully keep people coming back so that over time they really truly do begin to truly understand.
Yeah, and I would like to add to that too, that it's really about, this is a system that's been handed down to us, this whole system of racism that has been hundreds and hundreds of years in the making. So actually, we are dealing with the psychosis, right? And it's going to take time to remove that. But compassion, listening, radically listening, is what we will need to do to move through and past this moment.
Very true. I agree. Now, Sean, in thinking of the future, and I know
Mhm.
this is a very loaded question, but in thinking of the future, what does that look like? And how
Mhm.
does the real movement influence that future?
When I think of the future, I honestly think that the future is in the hands of the youth, and I say that because to me, the young people that I see coming up now, like my daughter, I'm amazed. They don't have fear holding them back in the past. They just don't have that. They don't have a past loaded with fear. They're fearless, and they
Yeah.
have this imagination. They have this imagination that will move us forward, that moves us into the future. So I think when I think of the future, I'm really investing a lot of my energy, number one, in passing the baton and supporting the youth of today. And to me, what place does the real movement have in that? Those of us that are active in the movement now, we just have to pick up those people that are coming in new into the profession, right? And igniting and sharing wisdom and listening to their wisdom to push us forward as a movement.
Very true. You spoke a little bit, and the word that came to me was conformity. And I think that in the past, so many people were so fixated on conforming to what the norms were, to a point of being like gravely afraid of what the punishment was going to be if they chose to believe in something different. But these kids, as you said, these children now, this generation, they have no fear. They're not afraid to stand up to their parents or grandparents and great grandparents and shut them down and say, no, that's not the way. I don't believe that. I don't believe in that. And if that means you have to disown me from this family, if that means I can no longer come around, that's okay, because what I believe in is much more important than following and conforming what it is you want me to believe.
Yeah.
So, oh my goodness, you're so right when we talk about the youth. I talk about all the time how, you know, when we think of 2021, we're only about 70 years removed from Jim Crow laws and segregation, and we're still living amongst the people who were actually there and who believed in this stuff. So the children of those children, the grandchildren of those children are going to be the ones who really make the change, because they're going to break those chains. So
that's right. That's right. Yeah. Yeah.
Now, Shan, if you had to create a hashtag for your work, what would that hashtag be?
All day, every day, my hashtag would be make it happen.
I love it. Why that hashtag, Shan?
Because I believe, we have little discussions to kind of plan out what we're going to do, but I'm about action. I don't like sitting around talking for a long time. I like to make things happen. And it's so funny because one of my students from long ago gave me a mug and it said, Miss Byrd is about making it happen. And I was like, wow. So,
I love that. I love that, because it's true. So many of us talk, but we're not actually willing to put forth the work to make things happen. So I think that was the perfect hashtag to describe you and your work, because I know just how much those words really apply to your life.
Yeah.
So Shan, in 1 minute or less, can you tell me why the real movement is so vital right now?
Wow. The real movement is vital right now because it is expanding our capacities, right? In this work. It's expanding our understandings across the state of New Jersey. And it's stretching us, all of us educators, to examine, what are our biases? What is it that I need to work on personally, as well as so that when I show up into spaces, especially classroom spaces, I'm not causing more harm. I love the real movement because it's digging deep and it's really asking those hard questions. So yes, that's why it's vital now. I would say that it's the work that we need to do to start. Some people will be uncomfortable, and that's fine, because while people are living their lives comfortably, other people are living their lives unsafely. So we need to take this space, this time to explore the topics, the issues that the real brings to the forefront, and begin that stretching, that evolving that is necessary for us to reach just racial equity, humanity, treating people with worth and, with love. That's why it's vital.
Yes, growth comes from discomfort. We know this. And so without discomfort, there can be no growth, because you have to be willing to do something different. And in my experience with the real, the word reflective comes to mind, because you really do have to reflect on what you do day to day, and how you show up for your family, and how you show up for your students, and how you show up for your colleagues. And having some of those difficult conversations in the real sessions really do allow you to reflect on what it is that you really need to check yourself about and change
Yeah.
in order to show up better, because none of us are perfect. Whether you're
No.
white, black, brown, we all have had those moments where we fall short of the glory of what others
Mm.
want for us. And so actively participating in those sessions on a regular basis really does kind of hold us accountable for being better. So
Oh,
that's
yeah.
why I love the real movement.
Yes. Yes. Lots of growth for us all.
Yes, for us all. I agree. Now,
Yeah.
Shan, do you have any final thoughts that you would like to share?
You know, I was listening to you, and I was reflecting on a thought I had a few days ago. And when I think of the real movement, I think to myself, right, that each of us in the skin that we're in, doesn't matter if it's white, brown, black, variations of, doesn't matter. We each have a responsibility to do this work, right? And to dedicate ourselves to being in those spaces of discomfort, of growing, of stretching. Because when we say this term, you know, putting skin in a game, that's what that means. Putting your skin in this game, showing up fully as you are, willing to make a change.
Absolutely, Shan. Well, I want to thank you for blessing us with your presence, your knowledge, your experience. We appreciate you. We appreciate all that you do. So thank you.
I appreciate you too, Angel. It's so
Thank you,
good.
Shan.
So
Thank you.
good.
And
Yes.
I do want to take this moment also to honestly give you kudos, because you don't even probably realize it, but you are the sole reason why I am who I am in my work today as a union member. You encouraged me as a fellow during the summer several years ago to get more involved with my union. I remember you could not believe that I was not involved in any official capacity, not even as a rep. And your encouragement allowed me to take a leap of faith that September to become a rep. And my life has completely changed since. So thank you, Shan, truly from the bottom of my heart.
Oh my goodness. Oh, it is so beautiful to watch you blossom and grow and just become the best angel that you can. And I appreciate you too. And I'm so happy you interviewed me. It's a special moment. It
It
really is a
really
special
is.
moment.
It
Yeah.
really is.
Yeah.
Like I said, in the family affair, this is really just about family coming together, having these conversations that others can hopefully learn from and be encouraged by.
Absolutely.
So, to our watchers, to learn more about the Real Movement, visit our website, real.njea.org. And until next time, peace.
Peace.